Do you want the PS5? Well, guess what? We have the PS5. Well, not really, but we have information about the PS5 here on Play PS5, the podcast. I am Adam, here with my beloved co-host, Alex. And to begin, I want to share some information about our dynamic duo we have here for the podcast. Did you know that Alex was the most popular kid in the 6th grade? For 5 years in a row. But I joke, yeah, he wasn't cool as a kid. He didn't have friends, but he's doing very well now. Every single medical school actually wants him, but not while he's alive. Ho-ho! They want you dead for the organs. Welcome to the show, good buddy. What do you feel like talking about tonight, Alex, on Play PS5, the podcast?
I just feel like redeeming myself, Adam. You come in hot at me, making fun of my track record as a 6th grader. Yeah, okay. I repeated a couple of times, but yeah, okay. I was cool, all right? Do you know how cool it makes you when you're in 6th grade and you have like a very, very prominent pubic mustache?
When your pubes have grown in, I don't know.
They were growing in on my face, man. It was awesome. I would pluck the hairs out and give them to the kids for good luck.
Well, I homeschooled all the way, so I was the most popular from grade kindergarten to 12.
Teacher's pet. Were you one of those kids that was had banged their teacher?
Banged your auntie on my couch. Okay.
Still. Okay.
I love your auntie and I love her on my couch.
Thanks, Adam. Let's move on to the gamer juice, buddy.
So what I have tonight is I was running a little low on time because a super short segue. I had a friend I haven't seen in a long time. They came over. I showed them the PSVR. They had never been in virtual reality. Holy crap. Watching someone play virtual reality for the first time, whether it's Roller Coaster Legends or Rush of Blood or Beat Saber or Super Hot or Wipeout, it is just gold. I enjoy watching people play VR more than I even like being in VR myself. And so time got carried away. I just had to go to the local gas station. I got a frozen Sprite. So it's just like, a slushy, but it's, I guess, Sprite flavored. It's not bad. It tastes exactly like just a frozen Sprite. I thought maybe there would be a little extra kick to it, and there wasn't. I just feel like I'm going to get the diabetes from it, and it's not bad. It's nice and cool. I guess it's refreshing, but not my finest gamer juice. How about you?
Great story. I love it, Adam. That's the best. My gamer juice, it was a dose of keys. I drank it all because Adam spent about 10, 30, 40 minutes before we started recording this podcast trying to figure out how to download a JPEG onto his computer so he could get that background that you're seeing right there. It took about 20 seconds to do this. So I burned through my gamer juice. It's good as a beer. I'm going to move on to this caffeine stuff because Adam bored me to tears. He bored me to death. It's my caffeine water. Tastes like garbage. Keeps me up. That's my gamer juice this week because Adam ruined my first one.
As he sips that, if we're on Twitter, right now we're still using our Play PSVR Gmail or whatever. So contact at playpsvr.com. Every time I download something, a JPEG, it downloads as a JFIF. I've never seen this. What is a JFIF? I can't get a JPEG anymore. If you know the answer, please help me. I am 29 going on 72. I don't know how to computer. Alex, what is the Power A news of the week? Since we don't have a game, we're now dropping hot news.
The Power A news of the week, some of the bigger news that came out. I guess we'll just start at the top. Biggest news that seemed like people got upset about. The DualShock 4 controller for the PlayStation 4 will not work with PlayStation 5 games.
What?
Yeah, I know. People got riled up about this. Even though I don't believe the PlayStation 3 controller worked on the PlayStation 4. Or the PlayStation 2 controller. I don't think that worked on the PlayStation 3. I don't believe a PlayStation 1 controller worked on a PlayStation 2. That all being said, I'm mad about this now.
But a Sega Genesis controller worked on an Atari 5200.
Did it really?
I think it was one of the Ataris. Yeah, it worked.
My Sega Master System controller worked on the Sega Genesis, but you're missing a button.
Who needs it?
Nobody. Actually, a lot of Genesis games don't have that C button. So who needs it? Nobody. That's the answer. Adam.
So,
yeah.
Here's my thing with this DualShock. First, I too am confused on why people care. It's a next-gen console. It's a whole brand new console. It never even crossed my mind that the controller would be cross-compatible. I think people just want something to complain about. It's probably driven by the Xbox fanboys. But another question I have for you, Alex, is do you think this would have even caused a stir or a blip on the map had the controllers not been so expensive? I mean, a new DualShock is probably, I know, at least $65.
I don't think that it would have been that big of a deal. I think, like you said, it might be an Xbox fanboy-driven thing because apparently Microsoft came out and they were all excited to say, guess what? Our Xbox One controller works on the Xbox Series X. Big whoop. Here's the thing. All that does is tell me that the Xbox Series X isn't going to be doing anything new with their controllers, new with their gameplay. I don't want to play the PlayStation 5 and just feel like I'm playing like a prettier PlayStation 4. I want new, even though I was riding on the controller pretty hard last episode.
Yeah, you were.
I still want to see some new stuff. You know, I really enjoyed the 6-axis. I thought that stuff, when done right, was pretty cool on the PlayStation 3. And now the PlayStation 4 did the 6-axis better, and they added some functionality that was kind of iffy. This control pad's not so great. The light surprisingly works, fairly well in the games that use it. So these slow movements forward of the technology, I'm interested in, and I'm glad that Sony's continuing that. Hopefully it's not too much of this DualSense all at once, but I'm fine to get it. Guess what? The console comes with a controller, all right? We're good. Now, I do think they said that the PlayStation 4 controller will work on the PlayStation 5 for PlayStation 4 games, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to be getting a lot more PlayStation 4 games than we expect. I don't know. There's rumblings that like all of the games are going to be backwards compatible, which just gets me pumped. But yeah, I'm not going to throw my DualShock 4 away. And I'm going to be happy to have a new DualSense, and I'm sure it's going to cost $150 for a second DualSense. But my wife doesn't play video games because I don't let her. All right, these are my toys.
So it's not a toy.
It's not a toy.
That's an inside joke on Vertigo. What was that?
Vertigo Home, man. Vertigo Home for the
Vertigo
PSVR.
Home PSVR game that trips balls. Look it up. I mean, I don't want to jump back into that. So. Yeah, my thing is, one, I don't even want to play PS4 games. It's a new effing console. Give me some PS5 games. And two, I'm glad you mentioned that you ragged on the controller because I'm not going to lie. The controller is one of the things I am most excited for about the PS5. It has so many features, and you're right. I feel like that is innovating what gaming can be. It's not all of it may work perfectly, granted, but I like the controller. Something they did come out controller-wise, some more news, is that the DualSense will have a 1560 milliamp per hour battery capacity, or milliamp hour, which is, I know it means nothing to most people, but that is 1.5 times that of the DualShock. So my question is twofold here, Alex. First of all, is this a big deal or is it not? Obviously, if you have the same controller in a bigger capacity, it's going to last longer. However, we know with the DualSense, it has a lot more features. It has adaptive triggers. It's still going to vibrate. It has a microphone on it, and it has all types of different features. And so I feel like it's hard to translate. Is that actually a big deal? Is the controller going to have and last longer per charge just because of those features? But do you care at all about, I mean, assuming it's not insanely low, is this big news to you at all, or did you just read this and brush it by?
I don't think it's big news. It's welcome news. Until I read this, I didn't realize how frustrated I was with the DualShock 4. It does seem to lose its charge relatively quickly. I found myself charging it more often than I would like to. Shout out to Power A with the excellent charging stand that they gave us, Power A News of the Week. Shout out, guys. So I'm more than happy to have more battery capacity in the controller. Now, for the new features and functions, is that going to eat into the battery life? I don't think so, because it's one of those things where it seems like if it's not being used, it's not going to be drawing power. I could be totally wrong. I'm not an electrical engineer. I don't know how these things work on a technical level, but I'd imagine that you're probably going to see a decent extension of the life of the controller due to this bigger battery pack. I mean, it's kind of like cell phones, right? Like they're doing more and more, but they're lasting longer and longer. We should be seeing these controllers last a long time, despite the fact that they have all these features.
So my thing too is I don't know if I'm just an idiot or what's happening. Maybe I charge it more than most people do. I have never noticed the DualShock. I've always thought it had really good battery. I have played maybe one game the whole time I've had my PS4 where I had to stop because my controller died in battery. Now I've gone at the point where it was like, hey bro, you're real low. But I mean, I feel like it lasts 10 hours. I mean, how long do you want it to last?
I need it to last all day because I'm going to tell you what happens. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to set the controller down, forget about it all day while I'm wrestling kids, and then get back to the controller. I finally have a hot minute, want to sit in front of my TV more than 6 feet away and play it on my TV, and the controller blinks, and then I got to get this stubby little USB plug because I'm too cheap to go on Amazon and buy one of those 6-footers or 10-footers or whatever they are. And I don't know. I don't know what my deal is. It seemed like it was a regular thing for me to have to recharge my PlayStation 4 controller. Maybe I ruined it somehow charging it with the Power A. I'm not going to say it's Power A's fault. It's probably my fault.
I use the Power A in mine. I don't know. I think that I'm a little sketch on that. So you got some different type of news for us, but I want you to run that by us.
Yeah, I just thought this was funny. Here recently, I think it was like yesterday it came out. Some dude on the internet, of course, his uncle works at Nintendo or whatever the hell they say. No, he thinks he's an insider for Sony. Started talking about how the PlayStation 5 people were having trouble running their games on the PlayStation 5 at 4K 30 instead of the game was optimized and it would kick down to some other resolution for 60 frames per second, but the games were having trouble running at 4K 30, and the Xbox Series X isn't having trouble at all. I don't know. I saw a tweet where some developers responded to it. Apparently, this insider is talking about a game called Quantum Error. That's a misspelling, so right there, obviously, I don't think dude knows what he's talking about. It's a corridor shooter that is struggling to get 4K 30 on a PS5. It's trying to get 4K, which means a downgrade, etc., to optimize to run on the PlayStation 5. And then shortly thereafter, we get a tweet from the developers of the game Quantum Error. Said, not sure where this is coming from. It didn't come from us. Quantum Error is currently running at 4K between 65 and 70 frames per second unoptimized. We will be hitting our goal of 4K 60, and there will be much more than just corridors, LOL. There's the news. Let's see, a little bit more breakdown here. Yeah, they think it's unoptimized. So, Quantum Error is not some super beautiful AAA title like Horizon Forbidden West or something like that. But the fact that there's these studios, they know what's going on. They have the technology, and they're able to hit these frame rates at this resolution. That's impressive. So there was the whole rumor PlayStation 5 can't really do 4K. Then there were rumors spinning out saying Resident Evil 8 is going to have issues running on the PlayStation 5, but Xbox Series X is going to have no problems. I don't think we need to worry about that if you were getting worried about that. I really don't know. I don't know what these people get out of doing this fake insider stuff. I guess they're just trying to get the clicks, get the clout. I always wonder, Adam, when you drop clout, drop rumors that end up being false, does that clout stick around? Do people just forget to unfollow you?
I think some do, for sure.
Should we start? Okay, I have an idea. By the end of this podcast, I'm going to think up some rumor. We're going to start getting some clout for this podcast. So I'll put on my prediction hat, and we'll have predictions at the end of this. It's going to get us some clout and get people excited about it.
I got one right now. If you have the Xbox, what's the new one? 360?
The Series X.
Okay, the Xbox Series X gets so warm and it irradiates electromagnetic frequencies that if you sit within 5 feet, it kills sperm.
Oh, that's a good one because I think it's true. Because I've never met a person who plays Xbox regularly that has kids.
Oh, it's because they can't get laid.
I don't know if it's sterility or just can't seal the deal. They just don't have kids. So sorry, guys.
Okay, boom, there it is. You heard it here first, folks.
Boom, roasted your sperm.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the state of play news. So last week we had just a simple state of play from PlayStation. They had a lot of good stuff. Some of the PS5 info will go into a little deeper. Others are PS4 or things that aren't super relevant to this podcast we're going to kind of mention, but pass it on by fairly quickly. So the first thing is Crash Bandicoot 4. Really biggest thing I want to mention here, I don't think it's going to be a PS5 title. It's definitely.
Why are we talking about it?
Because one thing I think is interesting is the fact that it's the first new Crash Bandicoot they've had in years and years.
They just re-released the trilogy. They just remastered the trilogy.
They re-released, but that's not new content. This is the new, like an actual new Crash Bandicoot game in the first one.
Did you play Crash Bandicoot as a little stupid kid?
You know, I didn't.
Yeah. Have you ever played one?
No.
They suck. I'm going to say it loud and proud right here. Crash Bandicoot sucks. I don't want Crash Bandicoot on my console.
I played Ratchet and Clank, but I was never never played Crash.
Imagine Ratchet and Clank without the guns, and you couldn't run around in all directions. You could only run in one direction, straight forward. And all you could do was jump on things. And sometimes you would go side scroller, and again, you would just jump on things, and that's all you're doing. And it's really frustrating, and it's not that good. And Crash Bandicoot's not really a good mascot because he tries to be edgy, but he's just kind of cringy.
But what would you say if I told you that you could play as Crash, Coco, Neocortex, or Dingodile?
Now that you've thrown Dingodile into it, I'm sold.
Okay, so this game comes out on October 2nd for the PS4. Just something to note. The next one, Alex was a little lackluster in Crash Bandicoot, but something I know he isn't lackluster for is the Hitman trilogy, and that is coming to the PlayStation Virtual Reality in January of 2021. Again, I know this is PS5, but we got to at least give a shout out because we're VR guys. And I think this relatively for virtual reality and PlayStation is pretty big news.
This is secret big news, all right? This is big news nobody's talking about, all right? Hitman Trilogy. Hitman 1 is that seasonal stuff they did. It was a well-received game. Some people's games of the year. It was awesome. Hitman 2 came out, iterated on that, even better. Now Hitman 3 is coming out, and it's got the story focus to it. It seems like it's going to kind of be a bit dramatic. Hitman 3 is coming out for the PlayStation 5. It's a confirmed PlayStation 5 game. I think it's going to have PlayStation 4 as well, so it's enhanced on the PS5. But yeah, they did announce that it's going to be done. The whole trilogy is going to be also available in PSVR. Here is the two pieces of the puzzle that people need to put together. Hitman 3, a PlayStation 5 game, is going to be playable in PSVR on the PlayStation 5, guys. We know the PSVR is going to work on the PS5. We know Hitman 3 is going to be a PS5 game. We know the whole trilogy is going to be playable on PSVR. I don't see how this isn't more or less our first announced PlayStation 5 PSVR title, unless you count my prediction last week about Astrobot also being a PSVR title. Both of them are coming true 100% for sure. I'm pumped about this, man. It's going to be a first-person, all first-person Hitman, which is kind of weird. Going to feel weird, but in PSVR, it's going to be good because you can look around when you're sneaking around. So I'm excited. It's gonna be really eerie, sneaking up on people, holding that pistol up, popping them through the window, stuff like that. But I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think I've never played Hitman, but after watching the trailer, I think it's going to be something in virtual reality is going to be real stunning, very immersive. I'm now looking forward to it, and I think the little tidbit that you put together that PS5 and PSVR, this was their coming out party in a sense. I think that's big. Obviously, if you're a virtual reality guy, I want this to be able to be used in PlayStation 5 and the next gen before PSVR 2 comes out. So that's big news. One thing I do want to question is on our Twitter feed, we, again, at Twitter's PlayPS5 the pod, that's our Twitter handle. We ask what types of questions, discussions could we have on tonight's podcast. And JD Max wanted to know that why did Hitman decide to use the DualShock for movement rather than the other options that are available to us? So you had a little, I guess, maybe explanation to that.
There's two really easy explanations. First one is the whole game's designed around the DualShock. That makes the transition easier. Second explanation, move controllers are stupid expensive, and a lot of people don't have them. And the last thing you want to do when you're trying to get people to buy and play your game is limit it to only the people who have the move controllers. And then my third thing that makes me say, don't worry about it. Nobody cares. Look at The Persistence. Look at Resident Evil 7. Look at these games. Look at Skyrim, although Skyrim got the move patch, but it sucks. These games are so fun in VR, and you still feel like you're there, even though you're playing with a DualShock 4. Now, I'm one of those guys that, yeah, the move controllers are fun, and it's like a fun, it's more than a novelty, but the magic kind of wears off a bit, and I just want to have that mind-body connection that I get with a controller. When I'm not having to think about what I'm doing, my body just automatically does it. The controller becomes an extension of my brain. So when I'm playing Hitman, I'm fine to have my everything controlled by the DualShock. I don't want the creativity of the developers to be limited by how well they can implement the move controller and its complete ineptitude at locomotion and stability and tracking. I don't want those things to get in the way of my experience of being Agent 47.
I mean, mind is software, am I right?
Mind is software, yeah.
So one thing that I'm a little excited for that it's using the DualShock is that, again, I haven't played the Hitman games, but from watching the trailer, you actually physically move around the areas, right?
Mm-hmm. Locomotion, man. It's like Resident Evil 7, full locomotion.
So with the move controllers in virtual reality, I feel like moving just isn't, even the games that do it very well, it's just not fun, and it's do. And with using the DualShock, it'll be very fluid, and you can use the analog sticks. And so granted, those moments where you hold up a gun and shoot, or you have piano wire and you actually have to move it over someone's head and strangle them, with the motion controllers, those actions would feel a lot better. But when it seems, again, in the game, that a lot of it can be timing and getting from one point to another in an efficient manner, doing that in the move controllers, I feel like would be a lot more difficult. So although I kind of see the advantage of the motions and why that initially would be more intuitive and better, I'm not too disappointed that it's in the DualShock. I'm not going to lie.
You want me to blow your mind right now, get you pumped?
Do it.
Hitman 3 on PlayStation 5 in PSVR with a DualSense controller. You put the wire around the dude's neck and you pull the triggers, and guess what we get? That adaptive resistance, baby.
Wait, I need to go get a condom for this.
Yeah, put it on, baby. I don't want you.
This is unprotected.
Blowing all over the camera. Think about it. You're starting to squeeze around the dude's neck, and the controller's fighting you as a dude is fighting you, and you got to squeeze tighter and tighter around his throat because dude's struggling. He's struggling. He can't breathe, and you're gonna break your controller because you're gonna break his neck because you just gotta kill this mafia boss because you are the Hitman. All right. We can't do that. You can't do that with the super PC VR controllers. We don't need it. We want this DualSense, the 5 senses to be engaged in VR. I just served that up to you, Sony, IO Interactive, whoever's making the Hitman games now. You don't even got to pay me royalties. Just give me a review copy of the Hitman trilogy, and we'll call it even. You're welcome.
And to make him one of the mob bosses I get to kill.
Don't. No.
Okay, next. Braid is a game I have never played. There's an anniversary edition that was mentioned in the State of Play in early 2021. One cool thing, again, not knowing the game, but it was a very colorful. The art style was very unique, and within the game, there's commentary, artist renditions, and points in the game where they actually talk about, hey, this level design was like this for this reason, and just a lot of in-depth developer and artist commentary that most games don't have. I thought that was pretty neat.
Listen, Adam, if I were on a podcast where we discussed whole games, this would certainly be one of the games that we were about to discuss if I were to have such a podcast. Braid is a legendary game. It's one of those games that, Adam, I know you like these games that blow your mind. I hope that it's coming out as an anniversary edition. Do you feel the need to maybe play it? It's only going to take you a handful of hours to beat. You could probably beat it in one sitting. It is a fantastic game. The developer, Jonathan Blow, the director, creator, he's an awesome dude. He's got this great insight with games, and I'm excited to revisit it. I don't even know if PS5, though, is going to do any enhancements here. PS4, like, I played this game on a crappy laptop with no graphics card, and it was fun. So it's going to look better on a PS4. I don't know what a PS5 is going to do to make that better, unless you can sneak up on one of these puzzle pieces and you get the adaptive resistance and you strangle one of the puzzle pieces with the controllers and it starts fighting you and you want to just take it.
Okay, we get the point. Next, we got the Pathless, which is a PS5 game, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. We've got a little segment called Master Debater, where Alex and I will argue whether the Pathless or a game to be announced here shortly is better. So we'll talk about that game later. Spelunky 2 is a game where they showed gameplay and an additional multiplayer for it. Have you ever played Spelunky?
I have played Spelunky. It's a cult classic. It's got a lot of people. It's like a one of those randomly generated games, and you go around, you're just trying to dig deeper and deeper. People love it. I could see myself getting engaged. I just don't have the time to play these games that are just, they go on forever. I'm not interested in Spelunky 2. I should be. I'm sure a lot of people are, and they're going to love it. I don't think it's a PlayStation 5 game either. I'm not. Cool. I'm happy it's there for these people. I don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Gention Impact is coming out in autumn 2020. Looked like a pretty good game. I actually right now don't remember if it's PS5 or not.
It's not announced to be PS5. It's PS4 right now. This is that game that you hear people talking. They call it Breath of the Waifu. It looks exactly like you took Breath of the Wild and subtracted Link and then copied and pasted some anime booby girls in there. And I honestly think that was the only thing that Breath of the Wild was missing. So I hope it comes out. We can get 4K 69 with these anime girls on my screen in Breath of the Wild. I think that might be what might motivate me to finish the game. So yeah, it looks fun. People seem to be surprised that it actually has some substance beyond just anime girls. So I'll be keeping an eye on this. Maybe I'll be lonely because I'm not going to have any money because I'm going to have bought a PlayStation 5. My wife's not going to talk to me anymore. I have my waifus. They'll talk to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Aeon Must Die. What do you know?
I don't know anything about this game except for all the developers quit. Probably some kind of like workers' rights thing, working them too hard. So I don't know much. I just think it's kind of funny that they announce a game and guess what? It doesn't really exist anymore unless they hired somebody to come in and clean it up. But I think everybody on the team quit.
Okay, how about Mutationen?
Mutationen?
Yep.
I don't know, man. Adam, I was hoping you would know something about this. What you got?
I know that they announced it, and we saw some trailers.
There's like a strategy series called Anno. And every time I see that now, I just think, okay, I don't play these strategy games, so I'm not going to pay attention. Did it look like a strategy game to you?
I don't know. I don't think it's PS5, so I didn't care. So
why'd you even put it on the list?
Because I put on the list because I was excited because I knew that the next game was going to be Bug Snacks. And that is going to be a PS5 game coming out in sometime during the holidays of 2020. And what we found out in this gameplay, in this trailer for State of Play, was that Bug Snacks will be in first person. The reveal trailer was essentially didn't tell us anything other than the whole game was going to be real weird. And so we now know it's first person. I'm going to be honest, Alex, we'll see what you think, but I feel like these people developing this game are good at marketing. They surrounded the game in this mysterious and really weird culture, and it just seems very odd and strange. And so it piqued people's interest, including mine. But after watching this trailer, it's no longer looking like it's really weird and awkward. It just looks kind of like a bad game where you're doing a bunch of fetch quests or something. I don't know. This kind of turned me off of Bug Snacks. It was a little disappointing, but what did you think?
I didn't know anything about Bug Snacks. I watched that initial trailer. It was quirky, looked interesting, gave me some Cubivore vibes, which I'm down for. But it looks like a game that's going entirely off its quirkiness rather than some actual ingenuity. Watching the trailer kind of solidified that. It's probably going to be fun. It's not going to be something I'm going to get pumped for. Maybe if it gets really good reviews and I find it somewhere for $10, I might buy it. It looks like a next-gen version of Pokemon Snap, which people love. It's a beloved game. I did not like it. I do not like it. I don't want to talk about it. Do not bring it up in my presence.
Did you know that Pokemon Snap actually has a very vibrant speedrunning community?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't have much to do.
I didn't know that. I saw a YouTube recommendation video on it, so I watched about 20 minutes of someone speed running Pokemon Snap.
Isn't Pokemon Snap on rails? Like
but there are different Pokemon that you have to do certain things in a specific order. And it's like if you take pictures of these certain Pokemons in this one scene, it will push you to the next level. So either you could take 12 minutes to get through a level on rails, or you could take pictures at the right time, get enough points, and move on. This isn't the Pokemon Snap, the podcast.
Yeah, that's what we record on Thursdays. Listen to that. That's
right. Vader Immortal is releasing on August 25th for the PSVR. I know people are hyped for this. We got PSVR friends who are just out of their mind. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even know who Vader was. It's Darth Vader, the dude from Star Wars. I don't care. Looks cool. You got all types of lightsabers, and I will admit the gameplay looks like it could be interesting, but I'm too close to the PS5. I'm about to explode, and I'm not a Star Wars guy, so this is a skip for me.
When it was announced, it was exclusive to the Quest when it came out initially. People were excited about it. I think the reception was okay. Not a little hotter than lukewarm. Maybe it's just warm. The reception was warm. Now we can get all three episodes released on PSVR. Probably going to look a little bit better if they decide to use the PlayStation power that it has over the Quest. But I just think it might be too late. I think it might just be too late. People know what it is now. They're not excited anymore. Star Wars has kind of really run itself into the ground as a franchise. Now, if it was like Mandalorian Immortal, people would get excited. That's the only thing people care about in Star Wars now is the Mandalorian. I was excited. I was thinking maybe I should get a Quest to play this, and now I don't care that much. It kind of went the way of Iron Man VR, where it just kind of, all right, that happened. Fun, cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then we got a couple titles here that I don't really care about. Control expansion, AWE, August 27th release date. Auto chess and the pedestrian look. I don't know too much about those. They're not PS5 to my knowledge. Don't really care.
Control. So you brought up Control, so we're going to mention it. They announced the expansion for Control. Looked awesome, like some kind of crazy Twin Peaks superhero game or something. I don't know. I haven't played Control. I've been waiting to get like an upgraded version on PlayStation 5 so I can utilize the ray tracing and really enjoy the graphical power because I know the developers made like really awesome version for PC. I want to play that awesome version. I don't want to waste time playing like a subpar version. But mentioning Control and PS5, that's another little piece of news, Adam, is that when Control came out, there was like an Ultimate Edition or Super Cool Edition or Deluxe Edition. It's like, yeah, get this. You get everything, all the DLC, all the cool stuff that's going to be happening. Season Pass. You want it? We got it. You buy this. People purchased it, and now they just announced that there's going to be a next-gen version of Control. And if you purchase it on the PlayStation, if you purchase Control, I forget what it's called, Deluxe Edition or something like that, on PlayStation 4, when you get the PlayStation 5, it will upgrade automatically. However, those poor guys who dropped the big money to get the Ultimate Edition are not getting a free upgrade. Sounds kind of crappy. I feel bad for them. I don't know what to say. The big news there is that, hey, what I was hoping was going to happen with Control is happening. I'm going to get it on PlayStation 5. But I feel bad that some people paid a lot of money and they're getting left out in the cold, in the rain, in the wind, whatever the saying is.
Also, some of those people may also be women, you sexist.
No, okay. I actually talked to all the women. They said they didn't do it. They've been waiting. They're like me. They're waiting for the enhanced version to come out for the PlayStation 5.
Fair enough. What I do got for you, though, are 3 PS5 reveal trailers, or trailers in general. One is for Control Ultimate Edition.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, and Temtem.
Yep.
Temtem, it's an online world for Temtem. It looks a little odd and kind of anime-ish. I don't know. Not really my jam. I could see you maybe liking it because you like that.
Funny you say that, Adam.
You just like that. You like the Japanese culture and anime-ish stuff. I don't know. That just seems to be more your jam.
Do you know anything about Temtem?
I can barely pronounce Temtem.
You've said it way more times than I have now. It is China saw that Pokemon was like the most lucrative franchise in the whole world, and they wanted to get some of that money. So they made their own Pokemon. It's called Temtem. And guess what? It's coming out. It's coming out on PlayStation 5. That's what Temtem is. It's Pokemon, but a little bit probably better. If I'm going to be honest, it's probably better because the Pokemon gameplay hasn't evolved since the Game Boy days, and Temtem probably has some little evolutions here and there to make it a little bit more sophisticated and enjoyable. But if you like Pokemon, you're probably going to like Temtem. It's not officially Pokemon, Adam. I can see your brain working, thinking like, it's more Pokemon. No, Adam, it's something else. It's a ripoff of Pokemon. It's like Digimon or whatever those guys are. It's Temtem.
And listen, if you nailed the gameplay of a certain RPG so perfectly in the 90s, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, sir. And if we had a podcast where, I don't know, we played whole games and talked about them every week or something like that, I would want you to play Pokemon because it is a gem. I don't play the newer ones. I admit, probably suck. But the fact that you said that makes me a little interested in Temtem to at least give it a shot. Maybe it's probably going to be too expensive for me just to drop a flyer on it. Maybe we can contact them, get a code or something. Maybe I'll give it a try then. But I did not know that. I also just realized that Pokemon is Japanese, not Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what we're going to say when we email them asking for a code for Temtem? Ni hao, bitches.
Ni hao?
You don't even know. You ruined it. Move on.
Well, what was the joke?
It was ni hao, bitches, but you ruined it.
And they'll immediately give us 3 codes. One for you, one for me, and one for a listener. Okay, next is Godfall. But here, that is going to be the second game that we are going to feature in our Master Debater discussion in the next segment. And so we will save all of the juice for that game for the next segment. And Alex, I'm going to throw one more quick discussion because I feel like we got time left in this first segment. And it's something I've been interested in, and we may even get to it again as the release date of the PS5 comes closer. So we talked last week about how we believe sometime in November is going to be the release of the PS5.
Yeah.
So for you, probably not for you because you like to keep your consoles. Let's say for me or some of the listeners who are more cost effective, more frugal and financially not adept. So say I want to sell my PS4 knowing I'm going to get a PS5. I know I'm going to get it. And so I just want to make the maximum amount of money on my PS4 before obviously PS5 comes down and then the price of your PS4 drops a ton. When is the best time to sell your PS4 to get max value for it before that price really drops because the PS5's coming out?
Adam, I love this question. I wish you had not just surprised me with it. Let me think for a second. I'm going to think out loud. Now, when you sell your PS4, the issue is you cannot play games anymore, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you want to avoid because you got to kill time. Adam, if I know you right, you got nothing going on. You're watching Pokemon. You're watching Pokemon Snap speedrun videos.
I wish I had a rebuttal, but you got me.
So you really, really, really need a PlayStation 4 in your life. So you got something to do. You did get that Nintendo Lego kit. That looked cool. You could pour your time into that. So it's if you can figure out what to do, the question is then how do you just maximize value? Now, of course, if we're going to say the best time to sell it was 3 years ago when you just bought it so you can get that money back immediately. Yeah, that's gone. So we're trying to look at a realistic time to sell the console. Well, maybe you could play through another. Here's the thing. Here we go. Here's how we're going to frame this. You need to play Horizon Zero Dawn before Horizon Forbidden West comes out. But basically before PlayStation 5 comes out, right? So you need enough time to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
And I can play that on the PS5, Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay, Adam, you're just ruining it. Stop.
Okay.
You need to play. You need to be able to play some of these games before the PlayStation 5 comes out, so you can have your palette ready. You can have your gamer senses honed. They are going to release. PlayStradamus here is going to release PlayStation 5 in November. That means in October, I expect all of October we're going to know because they need people to go through a couple paychecks so they can get ready to prep themselves to buy the PlayStation 5. Now, remember what I said. They're going to announce the price after the stimulus check gets passed in Congress. And they recessed until September because I guess it's really, 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 just really hard to agree on something that's going to save millions of lives. So what we're going to see is that we're not going to know the price until probably mid-September. Now, the second that price is announced and that release date is revealed, the price of your PlayStation 4 is going to go. So you need to sell your PlayStation 4, Adam, in the first week of September to maximize that value with
First
playtime.
week of September.
First week of September, because I'm thinking the second week of September, we're going to hear some big news. Don't we have a state of play or something like that coming up soon? I don't even remember. I'm going to call it first week of September. If you have not sold your PlayStation 4 Pro by September, we'll give you the 7th, because Sony likes Tuesdays. If you haven't sold it by September 7th, you're going to lose a lot of money. So go ahead and sell that bad boy. Put it up on Craigslist September the 3rd. Try to get scammed on September the 4th. Meet some shady dude in the parking lot on September the 5th. September the 7th, end up donating it to your church, writing off on your taxes, and bam, you're ready for the PlayStation 5 when they announce it.
Sounds perfect. So I am looking on OfferUp right now. And if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a less sketchy version of Craigslist that people actually have like ratings and their pictures up there. Like it's just less sketchy.
Just say it, Adam. You use OfferUp the same way you use Grindr, right?
It's a dating app, yes.
Yeah. Don't spoil it, Adam. I don't want you to tell me this number because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do an over/under on how much you sell your PlayStation 4 for, and I don't want to do any research yet. I'm gonna set the line, and you pick over/under. Okay?
Well, I want to tell the people. Okay, if you're gonna do it right now, sure.
Yeah, we'll do it, and you can tell them what they have afterwards, Adam. We're doing an over/under, impromptu over/under on what Adam is going to sell his PlayStation 4 for. Adam, no lying here. I love this. It's going to behoove you to sell it for more. I'm going to set the line at, oh my goodness. Should I say 200? No, I'm going to say Adam is going to sell his PlayStation 4 Pro, just the Pro, and we'll deduct things that you add to it. Hopefully you're not going to add too much stuff to it. PlayStation 4 Pro is going to sell for $150. That's what you're going to sell it for. $150.
Ooh.
Yep. $150. That's the line. You think you're going to go higher or lower? Here's the deal. You want to win the over/under, you're going to pick lower and sell it for dirt, and then you win, but you lose the money. You can guarantee or you can lose and push for higher, and nobody's going to buy it. You don't sell it at all. That's a guaranteed loss because it's like you sold it for nothing. So what are you picking, Adam? Over or under 150?
Well, so I think it's somewhat unfair because I obviously have been looking at these OfferUp postings.
I know what the price is now. I'm saying the price you're going to sell it at, master businessman over there, master debater.
Yeah, I'm going to say over. But the thing is, on OfferUp, there are a few consoles selling at a staggeringly low price. Like this is a scam price. Like the first one I popped up, $30.
Yeah, it's
used like PS4.
Sign up, complete 5 surveys, and you can get this PlayStation 4 for $5. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what is this?
I tried it.
There's
It doesn't
another
work.
one that's like $90. That's like, but most of them are $200.
Yeah, there you go.
Some of them are really high. Like someone's asking $500. I'm like, what the F are you?
I got you pegged, man. What are you gonna take, over or under?
Dude, I told you I'm going over.
So you're going to sell your PlayStation 4 Pro for over. Adam takes over. Lock it in. Adam is screwed. Vomit jelly bean right down his hatch once he sells that PlayStation 4.
No way. Because you're right. I got to figure out when. First of all, do I want to keep it? Is there a use to having the PS5 and the PS4?
If the PS5 isn't backwards compatible, ooh, that's a wrinkle. They're going to announce at some point how backwards compatible the PS5 is. If it turns out that it's not, if it only plays like 20 games or something at launch, people are going to be wanting their PS4 still. But I still think that you won't sell it for more than $150. Are you going to take the over or the under?
I mean, like I said, I already picked over, and that's what I'm going to gun for.
Ooh.
I do think.
Listeners, if you love Adam, please buy his PlayStation 4 Pro from him. He needs all the help he can get.
I'm like, right now, what I'm thinking about is, in what world would I want both a PS4 and a PS5?
In the world where you have all these PlayStation Plus games that you've gotten for free, and you won't be able to play them on the PlayStation 5.
But I don't want to play them to begin with.
Listen to this guy. He doesn't even like video games.
Unless the one wrinkle, if I can't play the Kingdom Hearts series, if it takes that away and I can never play it again, then I will be going back and buying another PS4.
The deal breaker for Adam is Kingdom Hearts. My God, how pathetic.
Dude, it's so good. You know how good it is.
Oh, God.
If you'd play the second one. Anyhow, so that is our end of the first segment. I could talk about this forever because my mind is spinning 2 miles per hour. So fast for you. And I just need to cut it because, again, this segment will be forever long. Next segment, we got Master Debater. Stay tuned. It is going to be a good one. We are going to get popping.
Huh? Go away, I'm debating. Master debating. Welcome to the Master Debater on PlayPS5, the podcast where Adam and I are going to go mano-a-mano, hand to hand, debating the top topics on the PlayStation 5 world. Today's topic is which game is going to be better? The Pathless, Adam's choice, or my choice, Godfall. We're each going to present 5 points, and then at the end, we're going to have a rebuttal and choose why the other person is wrong. We'd love to hear feedback, so make sure you reach out to us and let us know what you think. But Adam, let's get this show on the road. Why don't you tell me about the game that you so ignorantly chose, The Pathless?
So I recently did a video on our YouTube channel about my top 5 most anticipated PS5 titles, and The Pathless is actually number 4. It is a game that most do not talk about. We got a little closer look on the state of play. And the reason you are such a fool, you just indigent piece of garbage, is that this is your type of game. This is why I read this or watched this, and I was like, this is Alex. It is everything that you want in a game, and you chose to go against it, you minuscule mice of a man. Here's the thing. The Pathless, if you haven't heard it, it is a open world adventure game. You play as a hunter and you have a pet eagle. And the point of the game is that there is a darkness that has overcome the land. And it is killing everything on that land. And you are to defeat that darkness so life can live again. And so to do that, you shoot talismans with your bow. And that helps you bound across the world in the different landscapes in a very fast, dynamic fashion. The gameplay is quick, fast-paced, and exciting. So that's my introductory point to what the Pathless is. How about you try to explain to me what Godfall is?
Yeah, so Godfall, it was, they showed videos on the PlayStation 5 Future of Gaming announcement. Didn't really make sense what they were showing us. Looked kind of janky. They were showing us only gameplay, which I was kind of excited about. But what they were showing us wasn't really exciting. Was it a MOBA? Was it an MMORPG? Anything like that? But now, on this latest state of play, they showed us what Godfall is. It is a video by guy Keith Lee, one of the directors, showing us some of the combat footage, how the combat works in the game. Turns out, Godfall is a third-person action combat game. I know. Yeah, every game is that. But this has a little twist to it, in that it's basically Diablo, but in third person. So it's got all the loot that you love at Diablo. It's got all the special armor and unique items that you want to get. But it's down, the camera's down in front of you, and you have unique combat mechanics. So it's almost like, hey, you know how God of War was fun to play, how Devil May Cry is fun to play? Wouldn't it be great if you could get that with the looting mechanics? Kind of like how Gearbox did the same thing with Borderlands and first-person shooters. Gearbox is back at it again with Godfall. They have a third-person action looter co-op RPG game, and it looks damn good. It looks damn good. Somebody finally did it.
That's it?
That's it, Adam.
You goober. Okay, so here's the thing. One thing, the reason I like the Pathless is that not every game I want to have to be zoned in, and I want to be a stressful experience. Sometimes I want to sit back and I want to relax and I want to just live and reflect. And that is what the Pathless is going to do. I mentioned it is somewhat of an archery game, but rather than focusing on the crosshairs and measuring your accuracy, it is much more about the timing of your shots, not exactly where you're shooting them. This will allow you to focus on the environments, the mood, the music, and reflect upon the plot that's unfolding rather than feeling the pressure to hit all the targets. I think that's going to be a nice change of pace compared to the other titles we're going to have for PS5, like Resident Evil 8 or possibly Godfall, or a lot of the other games that are obviously going to be up in your face and more about, here are the pretty graphics, here's the nitty gritty, and you better get your gaming hat on because I'm coming at you strong.
Adam, does Pathless, when you buy Pathless, does it come with a ladder? Because you're digging yourself in a pretty deep hole here with the things you're saying. You'll find out when we get to the end of the debate, because you're going to need that ladder to get out of the hole, or you're going to get buried in the pile of crap that I'm about to drop on you. Adam, number 2, I bet you don't even know the name of the developers behind Pathless. Well, I know the people who are making Godfall. It's being put out by Gearbox, and the developers are Counterplay Games. Yeah, you might not have heard of Counterplay Games. Gearbox, they do a lot of big-name games. Borderlands is their biggest success, and everybody loves it. They're having a good time, although I think Randy Pitchford gets some heat sometimes. Counterplay Games, though, they're relatively new. You might not have heard of them, but you might have heard of some of the games that they've made, some of their team members have made. Have you ever heard of Ratchet & Clank or God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn or Diablo 3, Gears 5, Guild Wars, Titanfall 2, Left 4 Dead, Halo 5, Battlefield 3, Bioshock Infinite, Injustice 2, or Overwatch? Well, guess what? Some of the magic from all of those games is being cross-pollinated over into Godfall. Yeah, what we wanted a Godfall is a Diablo hack-and-slash action RPG co-op experience with looting mechanics, and we have all of that. We got Diablo 3 here. We got Diablo 3 for all the looting, Guild Wars for all the looting. But the beautiful graphics we get from Gears 5 and Horizon Zero Dawn. And then the beautiful environments from God of War and Halo 5 and good story from Bioshock Infinite, and then cooperative gameplay, fun multiplayer from Overwatch, and then a little bit of whimsy in there from Ratchet & Clank. It's got all the magic that I want in a video game. The developers have been a part of some classics, and they're going to bring that classic magic into Godfall, and it's got me pumped for it, baby.
It's Diablo. It's like Diablo. We've got Diablo.
Why don't you Diablo me, Adam, and get on to number 3?
Exactly. So the game, the Pathless, if you haven't seen trailers for it, it's very beautiful. It is a game that doesn't use the realistic graphics, as in, again, like Resident Evil 8 or something that you actually feel like you're in real life. It's definitely it's a different type of art style, but it's very beautiful. It's very interesting. It takes place in a forest. But you can also use your little eagle to fly around. And it just seems like overall, the art style was wonderful. Somewhere that I would want to be inside. And I do believe that, especially a game like this, it reminds me very much of Journey. It was the game Journey. It's about the actual journey. And a lot of that is feeling the art style and the mood and the character that the developers are putting into that game. And that's what this is. Almost, it looks so close to the Journey, and Journey is a wonderful game. I cannot wait. So the overall artwork and artistic style, I think, is going to shine. Sometimes, you got to reflect. It's about the heart. It's about the soul of the game.
Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen with Pathless when you play it. You're going to buy it. You're going to get this game. You're going to open up and you're going to have this little eagle and you're going to get to modify.
It's not even the time to rebuttal.
This isn't a rebut. It's a segue into my point. You're going to open up. It's going to be the eagle, and you're going to see like, oh, you can put things on the eagle, make them look better. Oh, what is this? This one looks cool, but I don't have it yet because what? I got to pay $5 to get a new hat for this eagle that I want running around. I got to pay $6 for a new color palette. Microtransactions. They're going to kill your game. You know what game they're not going to kill? Godfall. The creators came out and said there's going to be no microtransactions, nothing extra for you to buy. Long or over and tired are we of the mechanics where you buy a game and you don't get all of it and you got to buy later. No, Godfall. When you purchase it, you get everything, baby. It's all there for you. You're not going to be buying more stuff down the road. They're making a complete package just for you. Full game at launch, Godfall. Pay once, open that wallet once, and enjoy the game for the rest of your life because you're going to have a wonderful time. None of this silly, oh, give me $15 and you can have 5 different colored capes and Pathless.
Okay, very impressive. The Pathless has variety in its gameplay. There are puzzle elements. There are secrets to find. It is an open world. So you literally are on your own journey to find an end. There is an end to the game, obviously, but you find your way to that end. I think that is big time and something that like makes me very interested in the game. You've got that time to reflect on the plot. That seems like it is very soulful. I obviously don't know what it's about, but it does seem like something that is going to possibly tug at your heartstrings. Or just one of those games that are enlightening. You've got obviously shooting because of the archery, not only timing based, but there are boss fights in which you have to attack different parts of them and shoot and dodge and all that good stuff. So there is some actual gameplay elements to it, not just timing. You have the plot. There's even stealth aspects in the game. And so you have all these different types of game varieties and gameplay varieties in here, which is something you don't get with games like Journey or other games. So I think that is also going to help spice it up and make the overall experience much more enjoyable.
Here's what I see happening, Adam. You're going to play Pathless. You're going to get to the end. You're going to master debate with yourself a couple of times, and then you're going to sit on your couch lonely and bored, wishing you had somebody to talk to. You know what's going to happen to me when I get to the end of Pathless? I'm not going to master debate. I'm going to have somebody logging in, contacting me and saying, hey, let's play some Godfall, because Godfall has online co-op. This game doesn't have an end. You're going to be able to play this game forever because your buddies are going to be playing the game too. And let me tell you, everybody's going to be playing the game. When the PlayStation 5 launches, this is going to be the game everybody's grabbing. Everyone's going to play it. You're going to play online with your friends, online co-op multiplayer. Get in, dig it, catch some loot, lord it over your friends, and then watch Adam go through Pathless again, try to get a platinum trophy because he doesn't know what else to do with his time.
So my last thing about the Pathless, again, I'm talking about very much about the atmosphere that the game is going to create and how it will be a relaxing experience for you, something you can come back from work after a long day or a long week, kick off the shoes and just relax and play this beautiful game. A big part of that is the music. And from the music that I have listened to in the trailer and the gameplay footage they have showed, the music seems very wonderful and very fitting for what is happening in the various scenes. And so obviously when you're in a point where you're just kind of bounding from forest to forest, it's a little more relaxed and more zen. Whereas when you're actually fighting some of the evil spirits, the music is a lot more uptight and upbeat, and you can feel that stress building. And it has that extra addition to the gameplay that it's going to be good. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be it's going to be a good game. Top 4 most anticipated title for me. And the thing is, Alex is going to love it too.
Is that your number 5, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I saw some more stuff here, but I guess you skipped over it because you wanted to hear my number 5, Adam. And this is a big one, I think, and I'll explain why. Godfall was the very first next-gen game announced. Now, that doesn't have the best track record. I think the first next-gen game announced was Dark Sector. Remember that one? No, nobody remembers it. It was all right. But Godfall has been worked on for a long time. That means the developers have had the architecture in mind, the gameplay in mind, the hardware in mind when developing this game. They're fine-tuning when everybody's just starting to put the first blocks together of their titles. Gearbox is ready to roll, baby. They're going to be there at launch with a polished AAA action title that you want to play with your friends. Pathless, I bet they saw the controller and like, oh crap, we need to think of what to do with this. We need to think of a game that we can make for this, maybe. Maybe we thought about it last week and just started working on it. We're going to announce it. Godfall has been in production for years, man. They're ready to hit hard. They're ready to make that cash that you're going to drop alongside your PlayStation 5. And that's why Godfall is a winner out of these two.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. First of all, I believe that both games are probably going to be good.
Yeah, I have to concede that.
But the Pathless is going, well, I've already talked about Pathless is going to be a great game. Let me talk about what you're talking about here at Godfall. First of all, did you watch the gameplay trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I would admit it looks stunning. It is a beautiful game. I will also admit that if you watched the trailer, the gameplay is so slow and so boring that I was sick of playing it before the trailer was even over. Do you want to know? They are calling this a looter slasher. That's what category of a game they're putting this under. You know what another looter slasher game that I've played is? A Braid Vendetta Rising is a game for the virtual reality, and it, again, looks very beautiful. It has some great concepts to it, but you know what? It takes a long time to get those special armor and those unique weapons that you're talking about. Are you ready to invest 5 hours to get a new piece of armor because either one, they don't drop it, or two, you need to collect all the materials to create it? Probably not. It doesn't sound like very much fun to me. Okay, good, you know, Gearbox, okay, they made some great games. I'm sure they got some stinkers. I don't know. Giant Squid, they made some game that started with an A. They kept bragging about it. I don't know what it was. But they're no
Was it
slump.
Abzu?
Yes. So I don't know. I never played that game, but because they kept bragging about it, I'm assuming it's good.
It's Journey in Water, yeah.
Okay, Journey in Water. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That game's just like Journey. So perfect. No microtransactions. No game should have microtransactions. That shouldn't be a brag for you. No game should have those. If you buy the game, you shouldn't buy anything else.
If you have to buy anything in the Pathless after you purchase it, you're going to eat crow.
I will eat crow. And you know what? You could order me some crow and I will eat it live.
Here's what we're going to do. If there's anything that you can purchase in Pathless, you have to buy it for me.
If there's okay, sure, deal, because there's not going to be anything. You mentioned co-op. I'll give you that. That's a cool aspect for this game. Had it not had co-op, I would be much less interested in Godfall. I would admit that. And next, you say, "Oh, it's the next gen game." Are you freaking kidding me? Pathless is really going to be one of the first games coming out too. Listen, all of these games. They worked on the Inpatient for PSVR forever. Bravo team. Just because people and big names work on games for a long time doesn't mean they're always good. You've even admitted some of the launch titles that have been working for us haven't turned out well. So a lot of things you were bragging about, they're not really things you should be bragging about. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's going to have some things about it that are very unique, and I'm going to play it, don't get me wrong, but to say it's better than Pathless, you're a fool.
Adam, you've been great to master debate with, but here I am to finally bury you in your own grave of your digging. This is why Adam is wrong. Let me just set the scene. Think of a game that pops into your head when I throw these things at you to describe it. A game that really goes for your soul. A game that has really memorable, reactive music. A game that's meant to spend a lot of time reflecting on what you're doing. The game's going to have some archery in it. Yeah, and it's not like Twitch shooting archery. It's, careful, well-placed archery, a little bit of timing into it. A game focused on boss fights. You have these big bosses that you're fighting. A game that's known for being beautiful, and a game that's well known for its giant open world. That's Shadow of the Colossus, Adam, and you hated it. So why are you suddenly going to like Pathless?
First of all, I was thinking of Rez the whole time. 2, this is definitely different. Shadow of the Colossus was more about. Well, I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish, and then because I don't want to cut you off. That's not fair. You didn't cut me off.
More about nothing, Adam. This is a glittery version of Shadow of the Colossus. Let's hope they make it good. I want this game to be good. I want to play a good version of. I like Shadow of the Colossus, but Adam, you can't have your cake and eat it too, Adam. You can't look at your meat and beat it too, Adam. Pathless is not going to be your type of game. You're going to be disappointed. We need a game for everybody. The time has passed for individual tastes. We need a game that everybody can play. Everybody wants to play. We need a real winner, and that winner is going to be Godfall, man. You're wrong. You're wrong.
No. First of all, Shadow of the Colossus, half of it was figuring out where the F to go.
In the giant open world. Okay, yeah.
No. Because your freaking horse moved at the speed of an effing snail. Have you seen the gameplay for the Pathless? She is cruising. She is moving, and it's fun. I hated that horse. I celebrated when it died in the Shadow of the Colossus. Well, I guess that's a spoiler. I hope everyone's played it. Anyhow, the horse dies, and I was thrilled. The eagle's not going to die in this game. He's going to lift you to higher heights than you could have ever achieved. There's no way. These two games, again, it's way closer to Journey, which I liked, than it is the Shadow of the Colossus. So although I'll admit that this isn't typically a game I would go nuts for, it's a game you would go nuts for, and it's a game that I think is going to be big time and a hidden gem early on in the PS5's life.
Well, here we go, Adam. The whole thing about the Master Debater is that it's a game of winners and losers. So what we're going to do to decide the winner and loser is when these games finally release, we're going to find out what their Open Critic score is. We'll say on launch day, maybe 2 days after it launches. And whoever has the higher score doesn't have to eat the vomit jelly bean. And whoever has the lower score has to eat that vomit jelly bean.
See, I just don't know if that's necessarily the best way to do it.
What else are we going to – a Twitter poll with 3 people responding? No.
Mm-hmm.
No, Open Critic, man. It gets everybody. It gets a critical response. It gets a public response. It throws it all together, man.
I don't know if I want the foolish – people aren't cultured enough to appreciate the Pathless. They probably don't even know it exists.
Then only the diehards are going to play it, and they're going to love it. Anyways, Adam, we got to wrap this thing up, but I want to close up with our last segment here, Adam. It's a segment I want that you don't seem to want. It's the Playstradamus. Now, Nostradamus had a bajillion predictions, and I think maybe one of them came true, and now he's world famous. Well, I am now Playstradamus. I'm going to bless you with my predictions, and one of them is going to come true, and you're all going to come back and celebrate me for my forethought and my looking into the future. My Playstradamus my foreskin, yes. My Playstradamus prediction is that Godfall is going to be free to play. And it's going to have the Resogun effect. I know it sounds weird. You're going to get the full package. I don't know how they're going to monetize this. It's going to be pack-in. I don't know. Something's going to happen. Maybe you get some cosmetics.
You just said there's no microtransactions.
This is my segment, Adam.
Dude, you're counter to – you're just – go ahead.
I needed to win the Master Debater. But here's the deal. Godplay, they need something to spice it up. They want this to be the game that everyone plays, and that's not going to happen if it costs $60, $70. We're going to get the Resogun effect. When PlayStation 4 came out, there were no games to play. People played Resogun because it was free, and it got huge. You're going to see that. Godfall, maybe it's a PlayStation. There we go. It's going to be our PlayStation Plus, first PlayStation Plus title for the PlayStation 5. It's going to be free. You're going to play it if you have PlayStation Plus, and it's going to have that Resogun effect. It's going to be the largest launch title game that everybody's going to be playing. Playstradamus, you heard it here first. Come back, talk to me from the future when you're playing Godfall, and you need me to chime in with you.
Okay, with that, I want to thank you for listening to Play PS5, the podcast. Here's the thing. We would absolutely love and appreciate your support because we are a new podcast. This is episode 2 of many to come. We have a new YouTube channel just called Play PS5, our Twitter at PlayPS5 the pod, and we would love any support that you could give us. Watch some videos, like them, subscribe to our podcast, whatever content you like most that we provide you. We would just love the support. Knowing that someone out there is listening other than Alex's aunt my aunt and my friend's aunt. Here's the thing. We got our podcast in iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, and many more, iHeartRadio. But if there's some type of app you have that we are not on, let us know. We will submit it, and we will get accepted because they want us hard. Rate us, berate us, and trust me, if you don't, I'm coming for your auntie.